let's take a look at it. Apparently, he's going to court? Question mark. I'm super curious what this is about. I gotta see this. I gotta see what's going on here. Is it from the thing from before?
Braden Peters, known to followers online as Clavicular, walking into a Miami-Dade courtroom earlier today. Both men got 6 months probation and must now complete 20 hours of community service into firearm wildlife safety courts.
Ladies and gentlemen, today you are bearing witness to a historic event. Something that I'm almost positive has never happened, and I'm nearly as positive will never happen again. So sit back, soak it all in, and remember that it was your friend August who brought you this news only like 2 days late. You're welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, it happens. For the first time, I think, in influencer history, we are having to see the year's top dog influencer pay for their stupidity. I don't think this has ever happened before. Clavicular, aka Braden Peters, has officially caught a charge. It happened, and honestly,
Really?
I think that this is the beginning of the end. I do. I do not foresee Clavicular making it through the next 6 months. Okay, that sounds kind of grim. I don't mean that like physically, I mean legally. If you've been keeping up with the Clavicular timeline, which if you're an August the Duck subscriber, you've kind of been forced to, you would know that earlier this month he was charged with a misdemeanor of discharging a firearm in public after earlier this year he shot a dead alligator a bunch of times while on like an airboat tour. And in the video that I made on him getting formally charged for doing this, I said that I strongly believe how this goes down in court is going to be like a huge turning point for this guy's career. And I still believe that to be true because Clavicular pleaded a no contest to this charge. And because of that, he avoided jail time, but he was given 6 months probation. He has to complete 20 hours of community service, which he cannot stream, and he also has to take some safety courses. And honestly,
Damn, he can't stream? The audacity. But we need the content of him literally picking up trash or, you know, cleaning up graffiti, you know, for community service. Oh no. Not the content. What about the content though? I need the content.
from the character this guy has proven himself to have, I don't think he can last 6 months on probation. I don't think there's a snowball's chance in hell. I just don't think that there's a single chance that this guy makes it another 6 months without fucking up again. This year alone, which I will note we are not even 6 months into yet, this guy's been arrested twice already, I'm pretty sure, and he's done multiple illegal things on stream. This guy's fucked. All of his favorite activities are illegal, and he streams every moment of his life. I feel like he's also proven himself to not really have all that much impulse control. It's gonna be a rough 6 months for him. Like I said, he also cannot stream his community service, which might be the hardest part of this for him to stomach. Well, actually, it's probably the second hardest thing for him to stomach right after the fact that he got fucking mogged by the judge that sentenced him. Yeah, so I mean, this genuinely might be the funniest thing.
Imagine getting mogged by the judge, even though you said, yeah, I mogged everybody in the court.
That's happened during this whole like clavicular timeline. I'm pretty sure they got the most conventionally attractive judge in the country specifically for clavicular. I wouldn't even be surprised if this guy isn't a real judge. But like seriously, we are living in the dumbest fucking timeline imaginable. News articles are being written about this. But we're gonna take a quick look at the courtroom footage.
Wait. Looks Baxter Clavicular gets brutally frame-mogged by unlikely source during court appearance.
But we're going to take a quick look at the courtroom footage. There's not a whole lot of it. I wasn't able to find like a full uncut clip of it, so it's going to be kind of pieced together. But we've all made it this far into the clavicular timeline, so I think we've all earned the right to watch him finally have to deal with just one consequence of his many shitty actions. Please subscribe.
Please state your name and date of birth for the record.
Braden Peters, 12/17/2005.
Are you under the influence of anything right now?
No, Your Honor.
Have you spoken to your attorney about this case? Are you satisfied with the representation that Mr. Nyman has provided to you?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you are charged with one count of unlawful discharge of a firearm. I understand you will be entering a plea of no contest to that charge upon the conditions laid out on the record. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
Both men got 6 months probation and must now complete 20 hours of community service into firearm wildlife safety courts.
So I don't know about you guys, but at least to me personally, I feel like it's sort of a bad omen that he couldn't even resist the urge to wave at the camera like 3 seconds after he got sentenced. To me, that just seems like he's not really going to end up taking this all that seriously, and I mean, that's what I expect to happen. It seems like this guy feels like he's invincible, and I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense why that might be.
The guy thinks he's main protagonist by, you know, like he thinks the world revolves around him, but it doesn't. I'm nothing is shocking or surprising. I would be surprised if he actually made it through his 6 months probation. Actually, that would shock me. But the question is, will he survive his 6 months probation? Is the question to ask.
I mean, if my memory serves me correctly, I'm pretty sure this is really the first time he's ever had to answer for anything he's done. And this guy's been having constant run-ins with the law for the last year. I mean, he ran over somebody on video.
Yep.
I feel like once you scratch that one off your to-do list, you're probably going to end up feeling like the law does not apply to you like
I'll
it
be
does.
honest with you. I'm gonna take what Asmongold said. I don't want somebody in a normal society who decides on impulse and emotional feelings. If they're, if they get raged or so and run over somebody instead of having someone who's logical. I'm just saying. I'm like, that shouldn't be like a thing that you should do. Like, I get it, the guy was defending himself and all this other stuff and blah 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 blah. But having someone who snaps in anger that easily, you kind of don't really want somebody like that, because that's a ticking time bomb, that'll go off at any moment. Especially with rational impulses doing, dangerous things like that, running over people.
Other people, and I think we've seen that in full effect over the last 6 months to a year. Anyways, like I mentioned in my original video talking about these charges, Clavicular was charged alongside 2 other people, those 2 people being the Cuban Tarzan and Baby Alien, my favorite trio, and it seems like the Cuban Tarzan got the same deal as Clavicular, but for some reason Baby Alien was not in court. What the fuck are these sentences? I can't believe this is my job to say this shit. There's not a whole lot of information in the news.
It's their online persona. Who calls themselves the Cuban Tarzan and Baby Alien? When ran over the guy, I can understand a bit why he did it, but still doesn't mean he should be out about it. Yeah, and then also on top of that too, you have him literally on video, on recording, that literally says, hopefully that he's dead. I'm like, do I need to say more?
Articles about Baby Alien, but it doesn't seem like he just didn't show up. I'm assuming his court date got moved or something. Overall, I have pretty mixed feelings about this outcome as a whole. I feel like even in a vacuum, this is a pretty lenient punishment for what happened. Like, if I heard about this happening to just some random guy and this is what he got, I'd be like, okay, he got off pretty easy. And I feel like that is amplified significantly when we're talking about it happening to Clavicular. Now, I'm not really saying that from like a legal perspective, because none of the shit he's done really matters in this particular case. Like I said, this is the first time he's ever been fully charged with something. He actually got convicted. Just because he's a piece of shit online and we've watched him do illegal things, that doesn't really matter. Courts can really only punish proven conduct. If the case is about shooting the alligator, it has to be shit about shooting the alligator. They can't be like, all right, well, before we sentence this guy, let's watch a Clavicular clip compilation. But, the societal implications, the moral aspect of all this is obviously not nearly as black and white. And personally, I do see it as a little bit of a moral failing that if this guy adheres to the terms of his probation, in 6 months, the charge will be wiped off his record. I think that Clavicular doesn't really deserve that. Now look, don't get me wrong, I know that is pretty common when it comes to your first offense, but from a non-legal perspective, from a not very serious perspective, it just kind of feels crazy to call this Clavicular's first offense. Keep in mind that this guy is 20, and even with this one being closed out, he still has multiple other legal cases against him right now. I just personally feel like it's important, not only for Clavicular, but also for all the young, impressionable people that watch him, to learn that this shit is not sustainable, to learn that you don't want to live like this. Nobody on earth has ever been on their deathbed like, damn, I really fucking wish that I got a few more criminal convictions, and you know what? I wish I would have got sued more. Actually, you know what? While we're at it, if we're just rewriting history here, I should have thrown in a few more ODs. Nobody actually likes living like this. There's a reason that most people stop behaving like this once their brain fully develops. But a big distinction between most people—
I'm gonna be honest with you, that full brain development thing, I'm gonna call cap and bullshit on it. Because, you should already know what's morally wrong and what's morally right at a very young age. I'm just saying, you should know to a degree, I just feel like at this point, he's doing it for clout, stupidity, And what else? I don't know. It's just for me, for the vibe that I'm getting from Looksmaxers, right? Just Looksmaxers overall is the new day and age of douchebags from high school. These are just people that literally got out of high school, right? They got out of high school, but the high school never left them. Because they still have that mentality of being a high school kid. This is just high school shit, you know? He didn't get enough of the chancla? No, he didn't get enough of the chancla. I'll be honest with you. If I saw my kid doing this, you know for a fact I'm gonna be coming on that stream and fucking beating his ass live on stream. I don't care. I don't care how old he is. I don't care how old my son is. If I see my son doing something like this, I'm gonna go in there Hispanic style. That's all I gotta say. He's gonna fear the Latina inside of me. And that's kind of, you know, I'm just saying. But hey, man, I'm like, whatever, man. This kid gets to do whatever he's want. I'll be honest with you. If you know, if he keeps pursuing or keeps going down this road, it's gonna end in destruction, and soon he'll be like, he'll regret it. But hey, man, it is what it is at the end of the day.
Who do shit like this and Clavicular, and this is a big reason as to why I think he's just not gonna last this 6 months, is because Clavicular has been able to ride his insane financial and legal support system through a whole lot of shit already. You know, most people who do shit like this get busted at 18 for something, and then they—
Oh, he's right. Because if he breaks his probation doing shit on stream and everything, he's gonna get into even more problems. So he can't do that stuff. Because his live stream is surrounded by, you know, basically controversy. So he can't really like up the antics to the next one. I see.
make one of two decisions. They're like, okay, I'm 18, I might ruin my life if I keep going down this path, let me chill out. Or they say fuck that, and then they ruin their life. Clavicular hasn't really had to make that decision because every time he does anything stupid, he just gets bailed out. I feel like he's just too deep into the whole I'm gonna do whatever I want whenever I want to do it mindset to survive a 6-month probational period. I do. I hope that he can. Like, seriously, I'd love to be proven wrong. You know, barring extreme circumstances, I'd rather see a guy who's a piece of shit turn his life around and be like a happy, normal dude who's living a good life, rather than watch them spend their
but he's still on probation, though. I'm just saying, he's still on probation. And if he breaks his well, I don't know what the regulations are for his probation, but if he breaks the probation, he's gonna get into even more problems. I hope he does, so he can be behind bars. It could happen. It kind of really depends. Depends on the next thing. We have to wait for like 6 months from now, so it'd probably be until like what? November? Until like November, we see if he has done anything. So he has from now all the way until November to see if he fucks up again. My question is, what are the odds of him fucking up again or like messing with other people? It could be pretty high.
Chance at life being a misogynistic piece of shit who brown noses the biggest losers on the planet in a desperate attempt to fit in for the first time in his life. Because honestly, I feel like that's what's happening with Clavicular. Maybe I'm just giving him too much credit, but I've had to watch a lot of this guy's content to make all the videos that I have on him. And I don't know, a lot of the times it just doesn't really seem like his heart is in it. I think he's desperately trying to put on a persona that he thinks people will think is cool. And that's not me feeling bad for him. That's not me giving him any sympathy whatsoever. He's still a piece of shit. You wear a mask long enough and it just becomes who you are. Basically, what I'm trying to say is I hope that he uses this opportunity as a chance to turn things around rather than just make them worse. This guy has for some reason been given like a fucking golden opportunity at life. He's making more.
No, as in like I'm not saying like during his community thing, right? I'm saying like as in like if he streams and he causes another ruckus, you know, wouldn't that also cause problems or so during his probation stage? Let's be real here. These people don't really have the little whole bag to the streaming. That is true. These, like, take a look at Johnny Somali for an example. I'm like, that guy has been in so much deep water. That guy almost basically like streams every single day or streams like anything in general, the problems that he causes.
money than a person could possibly ever know what to do with. He can do whatever he wants, yet he just chooses to monetize being a giant asshole and a giant piece of shit. Why that's so popular these days, I don't get it. Well, I guess I do. It's because that's what makes the money, but he's made the money. Why not just pivot?
Granted,
Well, guys, what
Johnny
are your
was a lot
thoughts? Like I
worse
said,
compared to him,
I
at
hope
least.
in an ideal world, you know, that this will be the wake-up call that Clavicular needs. You know, if you get on probation and suddenly you don't get to do your normal day-to-day anymore, I feel like that should probably be a wake-up call. I'm curious to see how this all plays out if he ends up getting convicted for those battery charges like within the 6 months. I don't think it's going to necessarily affect his probation since like he was charged with it before he was on probation. I think that's how that works. But since he'll like technically have a charge on his record, if he ends up being convicted of those battery charges, I wonder how that's going to play into everything. Either way, I'm sure the rest of the year is not going to be super enjoyable for Clavicular. I guess only time will tell. I'm sure we'll be back. See ya.
Okay, that makes sense. Well, the only way we can see is just wait for 6 months and see what happens. You know, if he does anything between from now till November. So let's see what we'll be hearing from Mr. Clavicular Testicular Man. You know, that's all I gotta say. But honestly, it's just he just has like a lot of insecurities. That's the only reason why he did this looks maxing thing is because of its insecure. Also the one thing I don't understand, right? My question is, how did he started this looks maxing thing when literally straight up he had a girlfriend during the time of, I don't know if he still has a girlfriend now. I don't see her anymore in the videos or in his streams. So I assume he's not with her anymore. My question is, he already had a girlfriend. So what made him do this looks maxing shit? You know? Because usually 9 times out of 10, at least from like what I've been seeing or so, right? Usually the looks maxers people are like those people trying to look that way specifically and trying to get a girl. But the problem is the way how they're doing it though to get a girl is the most douchiest way possible. It's like literally straight up like e-boy, VR chat e-boy in real life. That's basically is what they are. They're trying to do the exact same shit that they do in VR chat and it just doesn't work. Yeah, like the Johnny's kids, it's a wait and see for now. Okay, I see. But overall, you know, we're gonna have to see what happens, you know? My question is if Homeboy is gonna start streaming more ruckus stuff. I guess he got insecure about his looks, but I'm like, the older you get, the less you stop caring what other people's opinions say about you. You know, like it's through life. You know, you only care about that when you're like younger. You know, maybe his girlfriend will get NTR'd by other people. Who knows, to be frankly honest. But this also proves that like the dude is just has a stupid kid mentality. When literally straight up like honestly, it's just like I'm like, brother, I'm like, it ain't that deep, you know? I'm like, you stop caring what other people say about you the older you get. Trust me, that's just how life goes, you know? I stopped caring like fucking millions of years at this point, you know? I'm just kind of like, yeah, whatever. I don't get too flying for doodle fucks, you know, about what you say. But I guess for him specifically, I guess his insecurities were so massive. But even there's like photos of before and after him, anyways. Like, let me see. Hold on. I'm like, that's him. What is that? Him in like high school or something? I'm like, all he did was just grew his hair out. I'm like, worked out, did skincare. But then the problem is that he personally went too far. You know, that's like the huge difference is that he went too far, and he's lost the plot of like self-improvement. You know, like there's nothing wrong of doing self-improvement at the end of the day. Like, I'm not saying don't do it, you know, I never said that ever. I'm like, you can do self-improvement to a degree. You can't just go that fucking far. Not work out, steroids. Oh yeah, I forgot he does steroids. Yeah, I forgot that his is fake basically. So His wasn't earned legit. Oh yeah, and then also he takes cocaina too as well. There's that as well. I kind of forgot about that. And you know, I'm like, you can do self-improvement where you can improve your health, as in like, you know, new skin routine, you know, work out, you know, try to like, you know, take care of yourself. You know, you can do that. Maybe grow out your hair, try a different style, try a different clothing style that works for you, you know, try something in general. I'm like, that's just how if this is what he looked like before and this is him after, I'm just kind of like, bro, it's like, it's like whatever, man. Like you can tell his insecurities, bone smashing. This guy has made up terminology and everything. Yeah, but don't go to the maxing side. No drugs or wired health. I mean, you can do like what is it? What is it? Soft maxing or soft looks or whatever. I don't know if there's a term or so to, you know, to not go far off into the deep end. But yeah, just work on yourself. You know, if you're not happy about a certain part of yourself, you know, as in like, you know, in reasonable, don't be stupid with me. I know there's some stupid people. Use your common sense, okay? Like if there's like nothing specifically that you like or so, right, and you want to improve on something, then just improve on it, you know? That is just called workout co. I don't know about that. I'm like, hey man, it is what it is. Anyways, that's the end of the video. You guys can comment, like, subscribe, do all that fancy jazzy stuff. We'll see if he actually decides to break the probation in the coming 6 months in general. I'm like, just look into stuff or so, you know? I'm like, they're kids. Number one specifically, they're going through puberty, okay? They're going through puberty and they're gonna get acne. That's just part of fucking life, okay? All right? That's just how it is. If you don't like the acne, ask your mom or ask your dad or whatever, or whoever you want to ask or so, to take you to the doctor or to a skin doctor and have them examine it, and they can prescribe you something to give you something to cure against the skin problem. That's it, you know? I'm like, you can just do that. I'm betting a Snickers bar that he will break it in 2 weeks. We'll see about that, to be honest. But like I said, you can just like, if you don't like the acne in general, just ask your mom or your dad to take you to the doctor and whatever, and then get the review it, and then they'll prescribe you something, and then you just do the thing that's provided on the subscription prescription things, and then you should be okay. You'll be fine afterwards. But even then, it's like, you're going through puberty. It's fine. It's okay. That's just how shit is in general. But anyways, before I go rambling on, anyways, that's the end of the video. Honestly, it's just these kids are so cooked at the end of the day with the whole internet stuff, and the way how, you know, the society, I guess, like the society in general, how like they should be looking or so, I guess. I don't even know if he's even trying to look for a woman. I don't even know. I don't know what his end goal is. I know that his like early days or so, his end goal was to basically look as pretty and then die early, apparently, looking pretty. Apparently, like, that's his like motto or so. I don't know if it's still the same motto, but like, it's kind of like, really, dude? Really? Like, that's what you want to do from life itself? Is to like get rich, look pretty, and die pretty at an early age? That sounds like such a miserable life, in my personal opinion. But that's just me, anyways. I'm having a fun time with my life. I'm having good times, and I'm not hating on it, to be frankly honest. So yeah, you know, he is for the fun time, not for the long time. He's there for like a short bit, and that's basically it. But we'll see what happens. I'm like, we'll see how the kid thinks or so in like, what, 10 plus years from now, when he reaches his 30s. I'd be super curious to see how his body going to react after basically all the substance that he's been taking and the procedures that he's been taking. I'd be super curious to see how he's going to be when he gets older. My question is he going to age like milk? Is the question to ask. We will see. Like I said, we'll see. It's going to take a little bit of time. I'm like, the older he gets, the younger I look, to be honest. I get mistaken as a young person multiple times. So this is not the first time. But anyways, that's the end of the video. And peace.